Macintosh initially reported the iMac Pro back in June, so in case you're in the market for a PC like this, you likely definitely know the majority of what I'm going to let you know. The shortage of to a great degree powerful Macs since the wastecan Mac Pro has upped the ante and the intrigue level among geniuses for this machine. So individuals are focusing and most likely are as of now spec'ing out their fantasy machine even as you read this. Be that as it may, for culmination, here's the arrangement. The iMac Pro highlights Intel Xeon W-class processors with 8, 10, 14, or 18 centers. However, for most undertakings, Apple is by all accounts guiding individuals to the 10-center model since its higher occurrence is regularly more critical than just including centers. You can likewise pick between 2 Radeon Pro Vega illustrations choices. It accompanies 4 Thunderbolt USB-C ports, 4 USB-A ports, 10 gigabits Ethernet, ASDXC card opening that backings UHS-II speeds, and an earphone jack. It has an indistinguishable screen from the present 27-inch iMac Retina 5K and it is as excellent on the Pro as it is on that other machine. The iMac Pro additionally has the standard supplement of ROM and capacity choices. However, common for this situation obviously implies top-flight segments and the chance to get as much as 128 gigabits of RAM. The base model has 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of capacity. Apple says that the whole framework has been streamlined all through so the iMac Pro will perform superior to anything a custom-assembled workstation utilizing similar parts. Apple additionally contends that building a similar workstation with equivalent segments will wind up costing you to such an extent or more than the iMac Pro. A lot of that joining comes on account of new, custom silicon that Apple is calling the T2. It's an incorporated framework that handles a huge amount of the profound PC controls that are generally taken care of by divergent parts of the motherboard. It handles sound, the picture preparing for the overhauled 1080p camera, and other framework administration capacities. It additionally goes about as an all the more capable SSD controller, taking care of the figure heap of record encryption straightforwardly as opposed to having it hinder your primary processor. On the off chance that each one of those specs influence your eyes to code over, there's a less complex main concern where the MacBook Pro is a PC that bodes well for basically anyone. The iMac Pro truly is implied for experts. Characterizing that word with regards to the iMac Pro is precarious, yet in a general sense its kin who will require effective processors and present-day designs cards to do escalated figuring assignments. Think VR improvement, working locally with 8K video, logical displaying, machine learning, and so forth. Apple settled on the forceful choice to pack the majority of that power into a frame factor that is basically indistinguishable to the present 27-inch iMac. It has the same 5K screen, similar measurements, and a similar stand. The distinctions outwardly are unpretentious. The air vent on the back is somewhat greater and extinguish is somewhat more sweltering, yet despite everything it ought to stay noiseless more often than not. It arrives in a darker space gray shading and accompanies dark extras. Even the power link and included lightning link are dark and no, you can't get them independently. Sad. Apple says that individuals truly do love that frame factor. In any case, I likewise experience serious difficulties wrapping my head around the possibility that I would need a machine of this gauge isn't client upgradable in any capacity. Hypothetically, a specialist organization could update a portion of the parts in this machine. Essentially, that won't generally happen. The main settlement Apple made is enabling clients to expel the stand and supplant it with a standard VESA mount themselves. In case you will purchase this machine, my conclusion is that you should know correctly what you anticipate utilizing it for, with more clearness than other PC buys require. That is not on account of the cost as extreme contrasted with customer review PCs, either. It's additionally in light of the fact that on the off chance that you just need a profoundly effective machine, there is another expert review Mac coming 1 year from now, the declared yet up till now inconspicuous Mac Pro. I don't deny that there is a business opportunity for an across-the-board, non-upgradable, professional machine. As much as we as a whole expect the stars need to have the capacity to go in and tinker and redesign, that is not generally the situation. Additionally, Apple administrators call attention to that many individuals simply require something this capable now and will cheerfully reassign those machines to different purposes when the Mac Pro turns out. In case you're searching for full audits to help educate your buy choice, you'll need to hold up. In the then, Apple ceded units to a hand-picked gathering of experts and influencers, so you can discover a few considerations and impressions from specialists, picture takers, and YouTubers. Recently, Apple drove a few packs of writers through a progression of shows with outsider designers whose applications take uncommon preferred standpoint of the effective processors and GPUs inside the iMac Pro. So I have had an opportunity to see a pack of extremely great exhibitions. There are new forms of Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro accessible today that exploit the iMac Pro's energy. We tuned in to tunes with a genuinely inept number of instrument tracks play along without spiking the 10 centers 20, in the event that you check the hyper-threading. Finished product could play back unrendered 8K video with some shading remedy and different impacts connected without skirting an edge. We saw a virtuoso exhibit of 3D displaying in VR, diversion motors reapplied to purposes like engineering rendering where whole woods could be glued into a monster, open field with no slack or loss of visual detail. We saw body filters changed over from a great many cuts into full 3D models of a human body mystically show up without waiting for the PC to render anything. We viewed an Apple build run 3 concurrent iOS emulators doing a trial on an application while running 3 more virtual machines, Windows 10, Ubuntu, and a more seasoned adaptation of macOS without a hiccup. Would it be a good idea for you to need the iMac Pro? Indeed, obviously. It's the most capable Mac accessible today by a wide edge. Would it be advisable for you to purchase the iMac Pro? More than with different PCs, that is not an inquiry I can respond in due order regarding you. It's the most costly Mac accessible today by a wide edge, and for the vast majority, simply getting the best Mac isn't justified regardless of the additional cash unless you have work that is as of now, essentially hampered by the speed of your PC. At that point I'm perplexed. There's yet another inquiry you have to ask. Do I require an iMac with all that power, or should I sit tight for the Mac Pro? Apple has over and over said the Mac Pro will be for clients who require more measured quality, and you'll have to inquire as to whether you would really redesign parts all the time. In the event that you totally should have the most intense PC Apple makes at the present time, paying little heed to cost, you'll be inspired as damnation with what the iMac Pro can do. Apple iMac Pro release date, design and price was last modified December 15, 2017 by Amanda Carano.